Hi colleagues, Tracy Daniels, and I wanted to just discuss really briefly a topic that has been making a lot of headlines basically since the mid-2020, and that is reverse discrimination. First of all, when we go in to evaluate clients' recruitment selection practices, promotion practices, and even termination practices from a diversity, equity, and inclusion lens, we generally find what we call, on what the employment law and HR discipline calls, disparate impact. And what disparate impact means is that there is a policy or practice that appears to be neutral on the surface, but the end result is that it disproportionately impacts or disproportionately excludes a certain group of people, which is typically minority people or people of color. So our response or our solution is to rewrite your practices, rewrite your policies, evaluate and extend upon your policies to be more inclusive, and to broaden, let's just say, your recruiting pipelines, to increase your minority representation, to increase your minority promotions, to increase or take a look at how you promote and how you terminate to be more inclusive as opposed to more preferential. And often is the response is, well, will that lead to reverse discrimination? And so any case for discrimination has to rely on historical practice. And so what we're saying when we talk about reverse discrimination, that would mean that an organization has to demonstrate a history of consistently discriminating against the dominant group, or in this case, white candidates or white employees. And that is simply not the case. So when you, particularly in predominantly white organizations, so one of the things we need to be mindful of is that when we respond with reverse discrimination, with a reverse discrimination claim, we are essentially saying that it has been okay to discriminate against other groups. But when policies and practices change such that it is more inclusive and maybe whites don't have the advantages that they had before, then that's somehow reverse discrimination. We really need to be mindful of that because, again, you have to prove a consistent history of discriminating against the preferential group. And that, again, is not the case. So hopefully this helps to clarify your understanding and awareness of reverse discrimination. That is, I don't even know if it's a legal theory. It is something that's kind of been thrown out there as a retort or a response to more diverse and equitable processes as it relates to recruitment, selection, promotion, and even termination. So hopefully you've learned something today that you can now take back to your organizations and take a look at your current policies. So thank you for watching, and remember, today is the best day to learn something new.